Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Good News Corner. Bobby Wilson here. Love to you there. If at first you don't succeed, try again. I've been there many times. What about you? I'd like to share with you God's greatest gift of love. The book of Romans, Paul's letter to the churches in Rome, is a foundational letter that covers many important topics in the Christian faith. In it, Paul describes our lives prior to God as being distant from God and even enemies of God. We chose to live against God's plan for our life. He also talks about the goodness and grace of Jesus that provided us with a path back to God through salvation. Central to Paul's argument and experience as a Christian is found in Romans 5 and 8. He says that while we were still distant from God and running from Him, God sent Jesus to die for us. It is through this that God displays His ultimate love for us as children. Paul isn't just speaking in theory, he is speaking from experience. God met Paul in the midst of his work to persecute Christians. And while Paul was an enemy of God, God still made a way for Paul to come back to the heart of Jesus. The same is true of us. Regardless of what our life looks on the outside, we all start at the same place as Paul. We were once distant from God, and it is only through Jesus that we have been brought close to God and are now part of God's family. You have a way back to God thanks to Jesus' sacrifice. Encouragement that builds. Have you ever regretted not taking the time to speak life or truth over someone? Maybe they were going through a hard time and you weren't sure what to say, but you felt like you could have and should have said something. When Paul, the author of 1 Thessalonians, is writing to the church in Thessalonica, he gives them some practical advice. Paul tells the church to continue to encourage one another and keep building each other up. This was something they were already doing, but Paul felt it necessary to remind them to keep doing this. Encouragement can change someone's attitude. It can lift someone out of a dark place. It can remind them of what's true when the truth feels foggy. Speaking life and truth over someone can give them the hope and determination they need to push through a hard season. Maybe you can't remember a time when someone encouraged you during a challenging season of life and the difference it made for you. Paul is encouraging us to do the same for others. The church is meant to be a place of encouragement. We should never leave any encouragement unspoken, but should generously lift each other up. Spend some time today thinking about someone in your life who you can encourage. It might be someone who's going through a hard time, or someone who simply needs to be reminded that others care about them. Never let encouragement go unspoken. Take a moment to speak life. Thank you for joining me on the Good News Corner. Bobby Wilson here. Love to you there. It's my joy and pleasure to share with you the good news, the gospel of Jesus Christ. Proverbs says, laughter does good like medicine. I hope to go to heaven someday, but make it later than sooner. George, age 9. I would like to go to heaven someday because I know my brother will not be there. Greg, age 8. Thank you for joining me on the Good News Corner. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Real love. Romans chapter 5, verse 8. It reads that while we were yet sinners, God demonstrated his love toward us. Oh, before we thought about God, God was thinking about us. Today, someone you know, someone you care about, doesn't know about the love of God. It's our responsibility to share this good news. So today, Romans chapter 5, verse 8. God demonstrated his love to us.